All right. We'll get some more people. And we'll get underway here in a second. How's everybody going today? Good?
Good, thanks, Paul.
Good. Awesome. I think I'm probably going to spend the entire time letting people in, which is fine. All right, so while we're waiting for a few more people to join, I'm just going to get some screens ready here.
Hi, Paul. Good
Hey,
morning.
Kokol, how you going?
Good, good. How are you?
Awesome.
Good.
All right. A little bit nervous, but we're all good.
All the best.
Thank you. All right, so I've had a little bit of trouble with one of my screens has been dropping out this morning. So if you see me kind of reach forward and play with buttons and stuff, that's what's going on. But see how we go. Yeah, I think I've got everybody. All right, so we've got 20 so far. Okay. So I think this is going to be a bit like popcorn when you put it in a microwave, right? They'll be going a bit nuts for a start, and then that'll sort of calm down, and we might have a few people join a little bit later on. But it seems to have quietened down now. So I just want to find out first up, some people have used Zoom a lot before, some people are brand new to it and all that sort of stuff. So we might get started here. I'm going to share my screen. And no, it's not the view that I wanted. I'll stop sharing for a second. I'm going to take a screenshot. All right, now I'll share my screen. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear the bells ringing for people waiting to join, can you? No, okay, no worries. It's just going in my headset. Okay, so I'm going to share. I'll try this again. All right, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Which is in Microsoft Paint, right?
That's right. Yeah, we can see
cool.
Microsoft Paint.
Awesome, no worries. So for those who haven't used Zoom much before, down in the bottom of your screen, you'll see there's a, let me just select red there. There's a participants part where you can bring up and see the list of people in there and who's talking and who's not, that sort of stuff. There's a polls bit. I don't think you can see that, but I'll just run a couple of quick polls. There's a chat window here. So I'm going to paste some links and stuff in chat. Just let some more people in. Okay, I'm recording at the moment. I'm going to set up some breakout rooms probably in future sessions. But if you can bring up your participants window and the chat window, that'll probably help as we go through. Okay. Okay, just let some more people in. Stop sharing for a second. All right. Okay. Hey, Michael, how you going?
Not bad. Yourself, Paul?
Good, mate. I'm just flat out letting people in.
Yeah.
So for this meetup, I'll get underway here. I sort of thought I'd come up with this crazy idea, and I might have half a dozen people who are interested or something. And it's been absolutely I'm humbled, really. I think there's 100 people wanted to join this session. I think I've got 40 people on standby or something. So it's absolutely brilliant. I'll share some stats in a second about who's based where in the world. So we've got people not just from Australia, but there's all over the place have joined the group, which is it's a real honour for me to have that privilege. So I'll just do a couple of quick polls here, so I can just get a sense of things. So yeah, let's do Jira. I'm going to do let's do a Zoom one first. So this is a quick poll on Zoom. Hopefully you can see this, and it'll just give me a sense on who's used Zoom. We'll just do a couple of the quick polls about Jira, Confluence, that sort of stuff as well. And I'll just give maybe 60 seconds for each poll, okay? So let's get my timer here. All right. Okay, looks like most people have voted there. Okay, so we probably don't need to run through the fundamentals of Zoom. A couple of people have used Zoom a little. Most people have been using it for doing meetings and all the rest of it. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, I should add an option there. Is there a Zoom for spending more than 8 hours a day on Zoom? Yep. Okay. Yeah, there's a few of us that have been doing that. So that's cool. All right. So that's Zoom. Awesome. Thank you. Just make sure there's nobody else waiting. And okay, can you all see the results there at the moment? Yep. Cool.
Yep, sure can.
All right. Cool. So I'll close that one. Just want to quickly check on Slack as well. Okay. So on this one, some people might say, well, what's Slack? Some people say, I've used Slack a little bit. Other people are comfortable with Slack. People like Michael might have been spending more than 8 hours a day on Slack. So awesome. So 60% there. Is there any? Okay. And it looks like there's a bit of an even spread there, right? So some people have used Slack a little bit. Some people have created channels and that sort of stuff. So it's pretty cool. So I'll share the results there. Okay, so it gives us a sense where we're at there. Now, the other polls that I want to do is Miro as well, and then we'll do the Jira and Confluence experience. It's a similar kind of thing. And any answer's okay here, right? So if people are like, what the hell is Miro? Then that's okay as well. All right, just waiting for a couple more. Awesome, okay. So Miro is an online collaborative whiteboard essentially, and you can do presentations in it. You can do Kanban boards, and you can use it as a remote whiteboard, all sorts of things. So in future meetups, I might use Miro to share some concepts and ideas and help with collaboration as well. Okay. All right. So some people have used Miro a little bit, and some people have created boards, but mostly people are new to Miro, which is cool. Oops, okay. Okay, so let's do the polls for Jira and Confluence. I'll launch that one. Okay. All right, so we've got a few that are new to Jira, a few that are experienced users, some that are project administrators, and some that are one that's a system admin. So that's cool.
I think Amaya's got a bit of a feedback loop happening. Perhaps if you can mute.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. Okay, just waiting for a couple more votes on Jira experience here. %. Just got another 4 people. If you could just let me know on that the poll, your level of Jira experience, and this will really help for all the future meetup sessions going forward, right, and how we structure them. Okay. Just going to share the results now. Okay, so we've got a pretty good good spread here, right? So there are a few people who are brand new to Jira. Some are experienced users, got a couple of project administrators and a couple of system admins as well. And this might help shape up how we do the meetups going forward, right? So one of my biggest concerns, I suppose, for the meetups is making it valuable for people. So there might be, if we're doing beginner kind of concepts, some people who are experienced might be really helpful, or really happy to join in that and help facilitate and that sort of stuff. Other people who are advanced users might want to have a separate meetup where they can sort of deep dive into configuration and more complex things like that. So this is good to see. Right, and Confluence is the other one that I want to check. All right, so we can just do the same thing with Confluence. Okay, so I've got a similar sort of thing here, and I'll end the polling. So I've got a few who are new to Confluence as well, maybe more who are new to Confluence than to Jira. Got some experienced users and one who's a space admin and a system admin. All right, so that's really good to see. And again, this will help with sharing and how we set up the meetups going forward. So I'll just stop sharing the results there. All right, cool. So getting started. Okay, so I just want to make sure, yep, I've started recording, got my own run sheet here. And we talked about Zoom, done the polls. Okay, so a bit about myself. Why have I done this, right? And who the hell's this Paul Casanova guy? And with a dodgy surname like that, can we trust him? So I came to Agile about 4 years ago. I've been a Jira admin for about 10 years. My experience in Jira and Confluence, I'm sure, is going to be a bit like Swiss cheese, right? There'll be bits that I know, but there'll be other parts that people will have used in Jira and Confluence that I haven't yet. And it could be things like writing plugins or integrating with REST APIs and different things like that, right? So I think I'm going to learn from this as well. I don't want to make this a series of meetups where I kind of present and lecture and I'm joining. Yeah, I don't want to make this all about me. There's another one joining. Okay. See another couple join now. I want to make this series of meetups about you guys, right? And I want to make it useful for you, whether you're beginners or advanced. And I want to make sure that you all get something out of this. I had a chat with Amaya last night. He's really keen to help with facilitating the future and that sort of stuff. Michael, if you're a system admin and you've done some stuff before too, it'd be awesome if you want to jump in and help. And for anybody else that wants to facilitate too, more than happy to share it and pass the baton around. I think there's an opportunity here for people to learn about Jira and Confluence. There's also an opportunity for people to learn in other ways. And that could be facilitation, it could be about tools, it could be about Zoom, range of different things. So I really want to know from you guys what it is that you want to get out of this session, right? Okay. And at any point, so let me just open up my Zoom chat here. Okay. Athula, can you appoint someone as a co-host to admit people? Brilliant idea. Okay. All right. I'm kind of semi-new to Zoom. I can see how to make somebody a host, but I can't see how to make somebody co-host just yet. But for the next one, I'll certainly do that. Let's see what else we got here so far. Hi, I'm from Peru. Is it possible to enable subtitles in Zoom? Does anybody know how to put subtitles in? I require a third-party application. There's no native Zoom feature. Okay, cool. Thanks, Michael. If you include Trello and future events, that'd be awesome, Paul. Athula, do you mean for tracking the meeting itself and what we're doing? Because I've got a sprint board in Jira that we can use for doing that in a second. Okay, Amaya, change going, hence was like, yeah, no problem. All right, that's cool. I know these times might not suit everybody as well. There'll be because there are people from around the world. This will be middle of the night for some people, it'll be lunchtime for other people, so we can change these times if that helps as well. The first thing that I want to say too is that, you know, I had 100 people lined up for this, and it's an honor to have you entrusting your time to me with that. So I want to make sure that you get good value for time. All right. All right. The other thing I want to reaffirm here is that these meetups are completely free. Okay. If it ends up being that you know, I get some consulting work out of this or whatever, that's awesome, but that's not my intention. My intention is to provide something for free for everybody, particularly in these times of COVID, with people who are either unemployed now or about to become unemployed or feeling worried about their role and they want to get some extra skills so that they can help keep a job or get a job. That's what this is really about. Okay. All right. So I've got a question there. Is it possible to include Zephyr in future sessions? Yes, absolutely. So Zephyr is a plugin for Jira, and we'll get to that later with other suggestions and things. If people have other plugins that they want to either go through and others in the group have got experience with those plugins, that's where I'd really love to get different people in the groups to co-facilitate. Okay. These are going to be potentially large meetings. I want to make them as interactive as possible, but also want to have it so that it's a bit collaborative and a bit structured, so that it doesn't just sort of end up being out of control. Okay. Some ideas for future structures. So this first one, I think this is really going to be getting started. I'll show a little bit of stuff in Jira, but it's really about how do we want to work together going forward? How do we want to structure the meetups? Do we want to just have a beginner's one? Do we want to have beginner 1 week and advance the next week? Or do I need to break them into separate sessions? So session A, session B, if we end up going over the 100 people. And the limit of 100 is due to my Zoom subscription as well. Okay. And for future ones, I was thinking we could do things like having as a liberating structure. Has anybody heard of liberating structures before? They're like a set of patterns. I thought you might have, Michael. They're a set of patterns about facilitation and communication. And one of those patterns is called a celebrity interview. So one of the intentions of this group is to help people to connect and get to know each other as well. And because we're all over the world, we could use the celebrity interview thing to maybe just 5 minutes. We could have either myself or somebody else asking questions of another person just to get to know them, a bit about their background, their interest in Jira, their agile experience, all that sort of stuff. And I think Michael's just grabbed his Liberating Structures book. There we go. Awesome. Hey, Michael, can you share a link to the Amazon site for that book, please, in the chat?
Yep, will do.
Cool. Okay, so we could do celebrity interview. We could also get people who are experienced in the group to give maybe like a coaching moment thing. So there could be people's experience and perspective of gotchas with Jira. So there could be things that they've been caught out with before or things that have worked really well with them. And for those who are interested in doing it, we could randomly pick somebody in each meetup just to give 5 minute spiel about either their good experience with Jira or things to watch out with, or ideas for learning, that sort of stuff as well. All right. Okay, and so the last thing I want to say about that with sort of kicking off is, like I said before, this meetup is not about what's in it for me, it's about what's in it for you. Okay, so this is about you guys, not about me. All right. I also need to apologise. I've got a website that I've just stood up, and it's got photos of kittens on it and stuff like that. And you're probably thinking, what the hell's with these kittens, Paul? So one of my tendencies is to be a perfectionist and to not sort of release things until it's all 100%. This meetup is not like that. I'm kind of winging this to an extent, and Coco knows what I'm like with winging things. And I've decided to jump into this semi-prepared rather than 100% polished and smooth. So it's a little bit clunky. That's why the website's the same kind of thing for me. I want to start blogging, sharing information, and helping people collaborate, learn, and grow and connect. And the website is far from perfect, right? So it's up there. It's got integrityworks.com.au and some kittens and some redwoods and stuff like that. But it will get there, and I'm going to be agile about it, and I'll keep iterating on it. Okay. Now I'm going to share some screens here. Okay, thanks, Michael. Okay. All right, so I had a bit of a discussion about Zephyr and X-Ray, so we might make that a topic for either later in this one or for a future meetup. Cool, thanks guys. All right, now I'm going to share my screen and we'll jump into, yeah. All right, so hopefully you can see my screen here now. Let me see if I can open up chat at the same time. Chat, there we go, cool. All right. Okay, awesome. Michael's just asked a question here. I'd love to know how many people want to know or learn about Jira and Confluence as a user, e.g. developer or publisher, versus as an admin, e.g. workflow and board creation or space administrator. Space administration, so, okay. I'm just going to share this one quickly. Actually, I'll come back to this, Michael. And Joe, yep, what about both? Awesome. And that could be about a learning path and stuff, right? Okay, so I'll go through these slides. Our hour is going to go really quickly, so I'll start moving through these things. So just as a quick introduction to Jira, for those who are new, I've created a Jira project under my Jira instance, and I'm going to make this available for everybody. And so you can go in here, you can play, you can create stuff and whatever. Same deal for Confluence. I've just populated this with our agenda for today. So I'm just going to create a sprint, and I'm recording this, so I'll share the recording after. So we're just going to call this one Sprint 1 for our meetup. And I'm going to add my agenda items to it. And I've got an internal server error. Of course, that's how that always goes. Okay. This wouldn't be a real presentation or meetup without a blue screen of death or something like that. Okay, and I'm going to start my sprint. Just going to set it for 1 week. We'll go through all these things later. And my sprint goal, I'm going to call this getting started with Jira. Kickoff. All right. All right, so we kicked off with doing some quick polls while people were joining. So we've done that one. Quick Zoom overview, wasn't really needed. So it's okay. Introduction and vision. Can I just ask if anybody's got any, you post in the chat, if you've got any questions or anything else you want to know about the introduction and vision and why, why I've kicked this off. I'll just give people 20 seconds there if you've got any questions. So I'll leave that one in progress for a second. Okay, Sandeep, yeah, really good question. So I'll just admit somebody else. Okay, so Sandeep, what's our vision statement? Awesome. I would like, as a team, I'd like you to create a vision statement, if that's okay. There's homework. I'll set up an ideas board and let me create a new issue here. If I can type properly, the meetup group. And we're going to put here as a meetup member, I want a vision statement. I'll let somebody else in. Okay. So that. Okay. Sandeep, do you want to quickly help me here? So as a meetup member, I want a vision statement, and maybe I'll just post in the chat here too. So that And then I'd like your views, right, on what it is that you actually want to get out of this. Is it so that I can become a proficient Jira admin? Is it so that
Well, so that I can collaborate with the global community to
that one?
best use Jira and related tools? That's my thought. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Collaborate with the global community to best use. Just say that again.
I can collaborate with the global community to best use Jira and related tools. I'm really concerned here. Should we be really I think the Meetup is for Jira, so yes, it has to be there. But then you mentioned about a few other tools as well. So should we just mention Jira and related tools for now and then refine it later?
Yeah, absolutely. And so really good point. Thank you for bringing that up. So the other tools that I mentioned is really just to help us with facilitation and support, right? So Slack, for example, and I'll go through sort of what I was thinking about using Slack for and Miro and different things like that. But I don't want us to be a slave to the tools. I want us to, where appropriate, use tools to help visualize or support each other and that sort of stuff and collaborate. But use them as a supporting function rather than having too much focus on the tools and being a slave to the tools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. All right, so I'll add that to the background.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so introduction and vision, we'll just quickly finish that one off. Quick overview of the member base. All right. Like I said before, I'm honoured really by the response to this, right? So I think we're nearing 200 members, and I just set this up last Thursday. And there are people from all over the world who've joined, which is absolutely flattering. And I hope that I can, do a good enough job with being of service to you all. So I've taken all the data of the members and just populated it in Jira. And this is the first thing to demo, right, is our dashboards and how we can use some heat maps and different things like that. So predominantly, we've got 77% of members are from Australia. Canada, we've got 3 there. We've got 5 in England, 3 in Germany, 10 in India, 1 in Nepal, 2 in New Zealand, 1 in Nigeria, 2 from Peru, 1 from the Philippines, 1 from Portugal, 1 from Scotland, 1 from Singapore, 1 from Sweden, and 8 from the USA. And this is taken as at last night, so I think there's a few more members now as well. The first thing I want to say about that is coronavirus is absolutely devastating. There's always a silver lining to things like this, though. So there's no question about the impact that it's having on people globally, people, families, jobs, society, countries as a whole. One of the awesome things that's happening, and people always seem to rally whenever there's tragedy, is the level of innovation. So I think the world has become a far more united society through COVID in recent times, which is awesome to see. And effectively, we can work anywhere in the world right now, which is really exciting. The other thing was the kind of areas that people are in. So we've got 1 from automotive, 1 from charity, 37 of the members are from a consulting area, data analytics, 1 from data analytics, 7 from education, 5 from energy, 1 from entertainment, 23 from finance, 3 from government, 4 from health, 1 from infrastructure, 1 from occurrence, 1 from language services, 2 from logistics, 2 from marketing, 2 from recruitment, 3 from retail, 3 from software, 2 from sports, 5 from telecommunications, 2 from tourism, and I've got a few where I couldn't find people on LinkedIn or whatever. So 71 there where I don't have that information. Just quickly showing dashboards as well. You can do pie charts, which got all the similar sort of information above. Anywhere in a dashboard that you see a link, if you click on that, it will run a query. So there's JQL that it's showing there. We'll get more into you know, writing queries and filters and saving them and sharing them and all that sort of stuff in the future. But I just want to show you some of what's behind here. So you can use these dashboards here for automated status reports and that sort of stuff. The other heat map I had here was the sort of the backgrounds that people are from. So agile coaches, we've got 18, business analysts, we've got 10, scrum masters, we've got 16, and then we've got all these other roles, which is really exciting, right? So we've got lead software engineers, we've got business architects, we've got engineering managers, we've got general managers, people from a whole range of different career paths have joined in this. And when I looked at this, I thought, okay, so probably agile coaches, business analysts, scrum masters, and a few others will have had a lot of experience with Jira and Confluence, maybe from an administration perspective and that sort of thing. A lot of the others, so graphic designers, general managers, etc., head of sales, might have either seen Jira being used, they might be interested in dashboards and that sort of stuff. So I'd really love to know, and I might contact each of you individually to really know what you're hoping to get out of it and how you'd like to use Jira, what you'd like to learn, what your challenges are and that sort of stuff as well. So it's quite fascinating. Again, we've just got to break down. This is a different sort of gadget. All of these dashboard gadgets are pulling data from the same filter, right? Then we can show data in a different way. It's just another gadget. This one's country by role. Again, if you go, well, who are the 2 agile coaches in Canada? Then you could click on that and run a filter and pull up that data. Same thing, 2-dimensional filter by country and business domain. And again, by their business domain by role. Okay, so that's as far as I go with that sort of stuff now, but I just want to give you guys a quick intro onto dashboards and how the data can be used. There's a whole lot of other gadgets that you can use as well. And in Confluence is a similar kind of set of gadgets as well. Not quite as rich as what you've got in Jira dashboards, but there's a lot more that you can do in Confluence as well, and you can mix it with other text and all the rest of it. Okay, yeah. So Sandeep question there. Now I might just scroll back up, make sure I haven't missed any other questions. Okay. Maybe after this meetup, I'll go through the chat, and any questions that I haven't answered during this, I'll message in the meetup and just make sure that I've addressed those. So Sandeep's just asking, can you please let us know which plugins you're using to show all the statistics, heat map, pie charts, etc.? Good question. All of what you're seeing here in this dashboard is default functionality. There's no plugin for it needed. And we can, maybe one of the future meetups can be, how do I create a dashboard? How do I add gadgets and that sort of stuff, okay? All right, cool. Sandeep, just add another comment if I'm missing anything there, if you want me to add any more to it. It's probably a good idea to put in a user story on the board as we run through. Yep, most commonly used plugin extensions used in Jira so that we can enhance users' insights and efficiency. Awesome. Okay, brilliant. I'm just going to go back to the sprint board. So that was our quick overview on the member base. Now I've shared a link for the ideas board. I'm just mindful we've got 25 minutes left, so I have to keep moving. First ideas board, and I'll share this link in our chat for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Okay. So in here, I sort of got started with a few user stories, I suppose, about what people might hope to get out of this. And let me just zoom in a bit. Okay. So for example, as a beginner, I want to have a separate beginner and advanced meetup sessions. That's politically incorrect. So that I feel comfortable asking questions at my level. So with these idea boards, you can, anywhere there's a plus button here, you can add another sticky note to it and type out your own thing that you want to add. And then if there's one that's already existing, you can just click on the number and add a vote to it if you want to. So what I'm really hoping for these boards, and again, this is going back to the tools, right, to help support facilitating the meetups. What I'm really hoping with these boards is that people will feel free to add their thoughts, concerns, things that are of interest to them to these boards. And when you add them, they're anonymous as well. So you can add things in here without fear of, being exposed or whatever. And then I want people to vote on them as well, okay? And then that will help me have a sense of how best to structure the meetups or what to suggest going forward, put ideas to the group, etc. So that you guys can say, hey, let's have, it could be a beginning Jira, beginning project administration, beginning system administration, and full-on nerd stuff like, hey, let's create a plugin together. Could be all that sort of stuff, right, that we sort of structure this meetup at. It's huge possibilities. But I want to make sure that it's pitched in a way that's useful and not overwhelming for people as well. So if you can add to this any other posts that you want to look at, that would be awesome. In the interest of time, maybe we can kick off the next session with reviewing what we've got here, or we can discuss it maybe via Slack as well. Okay, cool. So that's the ideas board. The Jira and Confluence learning path. Now, you've probably seen this kind of diagram before, where when we're learning something from scratch, we start off being unconsciously unskilled. We don't know what we don't know. Then we move into a stage where we are consciously unskilled. We realize, oh, geez, there's a lot that I've got to learn. And I've got some gaps and stuff. And that's got a lot of cognitive load to it. It's quite difficult in that stage. Then there's level 3, where we're consciously skilled. We sort of know what to do. We might have to think about or refer to some notes on how to do it. But we're getting there. And then there's level 4, which is unconsciously skilled, which is where we're on autopilot. We can create a project in Jira without having to think about it. We can drive a car. We can drink a drink without spilling it, all that sort of stuff. The path to learning Jira and Confluence is going to be sort of similar, right? There'll be people who are brand new, who don't know, the dashboard that I just showed before, for example. People might not have seen dashboards or realize you could do that sort of thing. There'll be other features in there too. There'll be stuff that I'm unaware of that I haven't come across that Michael or other people in the group may have seen different cool features in Jira, different plugins too. There are lots and lots of plugins for Jira and Confluence, and I'm sure that the group will have seen some that I could share with everybody else. So level 2 might be where we're starting to use Jira, create stories and prioritize things in the backlog and move things around. Any of those terminologies too, if people are new to agile as well, that's a great place where, or a great way that the Slack channel could help as well with, if people have questions about things, or the idea boards. If you're like, hey, hang on a sec, can you please run through some agile terminology? All that sort of stuff, we can do that. Level 3 might be where we are project administrators. So we might not necessarily be a system admin, but we might be comfortable with adding users into a project or changing the configuration of the board, for example, and all that sort of stuff. And level 4 might be where we're a system administrator, and we can add custom fields, we can configure screens, we can set up workflows and different things like that. And then level 5, which is off the charts, is writing plugins and APIs and all sorts of stuff, which is probably where I'd like to get to. My hope would be for anybody that wants to, that I can help you get through this path and take you to level 4. And if I can make some small difference in your lives, with making your either your work easier, reducing your stress load or whatever, really that's where I get my kicks, and it's really what does it for me in my role, right? So that would be my hope. Okay, all right. Now these bits here, connections, the next epic is concepts, concrete practice, conclusions. These are constructs from training from the back of the room, which I'm relatively new to, but I really like the idea of it. When we learn, and I'm just going to close this here, I'm a bit of a brain nerd, so I've done up this page I can share with people if you're at all interested in it. But when we learn, we have a very small stage where we can hold information in the front of our minds, and we learn via repetition. Also, good emotions help us to learn. There's a whole heap of stuff in here. I won't go through all this just now, but if anybody's interested, if anybody's interested in this, then I'm more than happy to share it with you and discuss and all the rest of it. But for learning, practice is essential. So that's why I've set up this the Jira project that I'll give you all access to. where you can come in and you can play. Don't worry about breaking stuff. I'll take it back up and I can restore it if you're at all worried about that. But really by trying out, creating a dashboard and a filter and different things like that, practicing that is really where it's going to stick and where you'll become comfortable and proficient with it. Okay, so what we're looking at here now is the Meetup Jira project. Okay, I've created one board, which is our sprint board. I have, where are we? Okay, I'm going to share this link with people. And we'll do this activity in a minute. So I've set up a user ID, meetup.user@integrityworks.com.au. And the password is getting started with an exclamation mark on the end. I haven't got the Confluence access yet, working yet, but I'll fix that. But this is where you can come and play, right? And I want to make sure that people try to log in. If you've got any issues with logging in, you can message me and I'll help you through it. Perhaps after the meetup, because we've only got 17 minutes left. But we'll get into that in a minute. So the Meetup Jira project, okay, I haven't got any notes on that one. But yes, that's what this is for people to come in and play and try it out. The Meetup Confluence space will be a similar thing, and I'll give people access to that. So it's just a blank canvas at the moment, and we can get into Confluence at another stage. Okay, now I've only got about 17 minutes left. So, okay, we've logged into multiple Atlassian accounts at once. I need Jira open for work purposes. Really good call out, Michael. Because this is Atlassian Cloud, no, you need to swap between. So for me, and I've had that same issue, right, when I've been with different companies before using their cloud instance, I just have to swap from my account back to the other one. I can, we can go into this in later conversation, but I can give people access to this, but it will cost me about $14 or $15 because it's Jira Premium per user. So if people want to be given access to it with their own external Atlassian ID, I can do that, but I probably need a donation. I'll just cover my costs on that. All right. A couple other things that I want to talk about, and then we might come back to trying to log into Jira. This one, free support hours, 5 by 1 hour support with one-on-one. I know in these meetups, the hours are going to go very, very quickly, and we're not going to cover everything that everybody needs, and people will be at different levels of expertise. So what I would like to offer people is 5 1-hour slots a week, maybe 1 hour per person rather than being lots. Where I can give people one-on-one help if you need it. So more than the 5 hours, I probably just need to watch my spare time, make sure that I'm still spending time with wife and kids and all that sort of stuff. But I think those one-on-one sessions might be helpful to people, and so there's no charge, no obligation, or whatever. So please contact me if you'd like one of those free support hours. We'll do a retrospective in a minute. Slack collaboration. Now, I don't think you'll be able to access this because I need to invite you to it. But there's a Slack channel that I've set up called Jira Confluence Meetup. It's just under my Integrity Works Slack instance. And so if you'd like to be able to collaborate with others in the group via Meetup, via Slack, then if you're happy to share your email address with me, then I'll invite you to this channel. And you can jump in here and start chatting with people. It's great way to navigate, to collaborate and communicate with others in the group as well, to network. And in here, you can share screenshots. You can, I think you might be able to call people individually as well and different things like that. So it could be a really good tool in between meetups rather than just messaging on the meetup itself or via LinkedIn and that sort of stuff, to do it in here. One of the really good reasons for doing this in Slack is if, for example, one of you has a question and somebody else answers a question, then everybody else can see it as well, which is awesome. It's like if you want to be able to share your answers and everybody sort of learn together. So Slack. And all of these cards in this board, you'll all be able to see as well once you're logged into Jira as well. Okay, and a retro. At the end of this, I'll share this. And I'll come back to the chat in a second. I've got an idea board for a retro. So we can open that new tab. For today's meetup, and we can either do this sort of maybe in the last 5 minutes of the meetup, or after. You can keep adding to it as well. But I really want to know from people, what did I find helpful? Okay, person waiting. What did I find helpful in this? What did I find challenging or frustrating? What do I hope to get from the meetups? What would I like help with? Yep, awesome. And this will help as a group, I think, for us to really get a sense of where we want to head with these meetups, how we want to structure them. Do we want to have multiple sort of different levels, you know, beginner, advanced, as I spoke about before. This is anonymous, so please, please feel free to add, you know, your concerns or dreams and whatever in here. And then that will help with steering. If you need some help with something in particular, so like Slack, if you can message me directly, either via LinkedIn or my email address, which is on the meetup, etc., then I can help you with those things directly. Okay, cool. I might just quickly run through the chat and we'll just see what we've got there. All right. Users can create their own cloud boards for free. Yep. And it's less than 10 users, not 10 years. But yeah, absolutely. So we can maybe demo that in one of the future ones, or you can message me and I can help you get started, or as a group on Slack, if anybody wants to jump in and give some instructions on how to do that. Absolutely, Richard, that's a really good call out, that people can set up their own one. The free version won't have roadmaps in it or advanced roadmaps, but it's got pretty much everything else. So that's really cool. Open source license requests. Thank you, Michael. I hadn't seen that before, so I'll look at that. So Michael, this is the Jira Cloud account. Look at your lesson.net. Yes, this one is for Jira Cloud instance as well. What I'm hosting here. Okay. Now, Sandeep, okay, it says sign into your workspace here. So if you, so that is the Integrity Works is the workspace. So if you send me your, share your email address with me, just send me an email, then I'll invite you into this Jira Confluence meetup channel. So it's cool. Michael, happy to help get the Slack stuff sorted as well. Awesome, thank you. I've done it before for a few meetups. That's brilliant. Slack will require invites to be sent out at this time. Yep. Please send the invite. Thanks, Surideep. It's awesome. We'll do that. What else have we got? Slack invite. Yep. Brilliant. Okay, cool. No worries. All right, so we've got 10 minutes left. So the retro, we'll leave that in progress for now. The meetup space, I need to do some work on that. Trying logging into the Jira project. Can I just get a quick sense from people about whether they want to try logging into the Jira project now, and we can help via chat if people are getting stuck with it, if you like. So maybe just a quick, let's see, go back to see all the participants. All right. Now, if people can just give me a quick thumbs up if you want to go through logging into Jira. Down the bottom of your screen, I think there's a, what do we call it? Motion or something like that, or a
reactions.
Reactions, that's the one. Thank you.
If you've got the participants panel open, there's also a yes, no button in there, and then you can view the results in there.
Brilliant. Okay. That's awesome. So let me just, yeah. Can you see this on your screen, the participants panel? There we go. All right, so we've got a couple of yeses. We've got a no for Michael, that's cool. All right, so we've got 3, 4 for yes. Okay, so down the bottom here, if you can just click yes if you'd like to go through logging into that Jira instance now. 5, yeah, cool. All right, so let's do that. We've got 8 minutes left, okay? So I'll go back to chat. Find it. All right, cool. So on the chat. So earlier I pasted the link to this board. So I'm just going to paste that again so it's down the bottom. So if you click on that link, I'm just going to set up my screens here. Okay, so just click on that link first, and the user ID and password are these. And okay, so Kaylee's in. Yep, awesome. Brilliant. Thanks, Kaylee. In already. Brilliant. Yep. Awesome. If anybody's having trouble logging in, can you just post on the chat? You can either do it just privately to me or to the group. We can help. Okay. When you go in, can I just get you to try creating? Can you still see my board at the moment? This Michael, can you not? Yep, cool. Thank you. Okay, so if you can create. Projects is just going to be integrity works. Issue type, you can just choose, I don't know, not integrity works, I beg your pardon. It's going to be meetups. And that's probably the only option that you're going to have there. You can choose an issue type, whatever it might be. And in your summary, can you just put your name in there? And then that way I'll know, we can get a sense of who's creating stuff and who's not. And in the description, you could just try putting in your initial thoughts on the meetup. Your reporter will default to yourself. You can, if you click assign to me, it's just going to be that meetup.user. It's because everybody's using the same one. The Epic link, you can try there. You can pick one of those 4 that are in the board. We'll go through the structure of the board perhaps in the next meetup. Sprint, same sort of thing. You'll probably only have one there, meetup sprint 1. And then you can fill out other things as you like. Cool. Now I'm in, everybody's in. Awesome. Okay. Cancel that. All right. Okay. So we've got 5 minutes left. I might I'll open the floor. I'll stop sharing, and if anybody wants to jump in and have a chat about what they'd like to have, I'd really love for everybody to add into this meetup, the retro, sorry. So if you can post in there either now or later on. And then we might open it up for a general chat for the last 5 minutes, and then we'll wrap up if that's okay. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay, go to video. All right. Okay, how's everybody found it?
That was good, Paul.
Good, thanks, mate.
Been a really good intro to how you're looking at running the meetup moving forward, and what we can expect moving forward as well. Yeah, really beneficial. Yeah, awesome, Michael. Thank you. And just on that, maybe if we can, maybe if we use this retro, what will I help with? Maybe under the what do I hope to get from the meetup section on the retro. Of course, I've stopped sharing my screen. You can't see it now. But if you can put in your thoughts about how you'd like the meetups to be run going forward, and then people can vote on it, if that's all right. So it could be people saying, I want to have specific advanced ones. I want to have specific beginner ones, whatever it might be. I know that's kind of already covered in the other board.
But maybe between now and the next one. So I've got one booked for another fortnight from now, but I'm happy to do another meetup prior to that. So maybe if we start chatting on Slack or via the Meetups group to collaborate on how we want to run these going forward and how we want to structure them, and maybe then come up with a proposal. We could do that via another ideas board and get people to vote on it. I think that'd be really awesome. Cool. Anything else from anyone?
Hey, Paul, this is Sandeep. Really power-packed and exciting start of this long journey. Already interested to know when do we meet next? And do you have any suggestions for us, maybe some kind of exercise, certain things which you may want us to be prepared with before we meet the next time? So that will help us to collaboratively learn and contribute. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yep, really good call. Okay, so for the exercise, can I make sure that you have logged in, created a task or story or something with your name in it, and if you can come up with at least one thing that you would like to see in the next meetup, put it in the retro. What do I hope to get from the meetups? If you can put something in there and vote on it, and then I think that will help us with setting the direction for the next meetup. At this point, the next meetup is scheduled for 2 weeks from now. However, I'm happy to do another one as soon as people want. Okay, so if it was going to be tomorrow or the day after, or one next week or whatever, or I can do a few. Based on your feedback in the retro and what's most popular, I might start creating meetups, a range of meetups over the next fortnight or something. And it could be that there's a beginner one. I might only get a couple of people to it, right? But that's okay. And it could be that there's advanced ones where we brainstorm things that we want to talk about. It could be this is a facilitation one. It could be there's 4 or 5 people as a group who want to jump in and help with steering the ship and all that sort of stuff. Would be cool. Also keen to get your thoughts on the size of the meetups, right? So I've got a Zoom limit of 100 people. But it could be that 100 is, people want smaller groups, they want bigger groups, they want to be just demonstrated stuff, they might want to interact and share the camera, pass control around and take turns in hosting and that sort of stuff and demo things themselves. I'm very open to that. So please capture your thoughts in the retro board that I've just shared the link for, and we'll go from there. And please, if anybody wants to contact me, I'll just put Paul at integrity, oops, see if I can spell properly, works.com.au. That's my email address. You can either do that there, you can message me on LinkedIn or via the meetup or whatever you like. We're at time now. I just want to thank you all again so much for giving me this hour. It's a great honor and privilege for you to give up your time for me and for the group. I'm really excited about this. I know I was a little bit unprepared and all the rest of it, but I hope great things come from this, and I really want to make sure that I can do something small to help you all. Until next time.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
All over there. Awesome. Thanks very much, guys. I'll talk to you all soon.
That's great.
Thanks, Paul.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.